what's my battery is 53%. That good old number of 53. 5 plus 3 is 8, 83, and today's the 11th. 9/11, 83. Represents snitch, 911, my uncle and I. But see, I didn't snitch on any of my bosses or boss. I snitched on my daddy because he's an asshole. On his license. I didn't even call the cops. He had me check on his license on a warrant that he wanted me to check on his license that was suspended to see if he had a warrant or not. And I was living in Margate with Joe and my son, and I believe that's what I was. No, Coconut Creek. I was in Coconut Creek. We were still living in Coconut Creek on Sunshine Drive. I just shaved my nose hairs, with my Con Air man. And it works pretty good because they put the battery on the side instead of on the bottom. Because when it was on the bottom, it wasn't making a connection, and I had to keep on buying them over and over again because it wouldn't work. The battery was not contacting the positive and the negative. So now my nose doesn't itch, but I had a boo-boo right there. So I have to use bleach on my face because I haven't done so in a day or two. And I have to, because otherwise that's going to spread again because it's sweaty, and it's going to spread again and start again, and it ain't going to happen. And it stopped raining, then it started again. See the big raindrops? It's just a big rain. It's not like raining heavily. It's just a very light rain, like raindrops. Raindrops from heaven. It's fully overcast. It's got a little bit of sunshine bolting through, but not like yesterday. But anyway, as I arrived at the library at 4:05 p.m., guess who walks out of the library? And as I come in and I'm driving into the spot they normally know I park in, and this guy's car is parked in my spot where I usually park. So I had to park a couple spots away. And then he left as I saw him passing by in my mirror. And then I waited, and then I moved into another spot closer to where he was parked at, but no longer parked there. I'm parked 2 spots away from him, where he was. But it was the guy that came up to me one afternoon when I was working on the jack, on purging the air out of the jack and filling it up with oil. Well, I did that. I could have done it months before that, but with the rain and the heat and my skin and me being under attack, I couldn't, because I was in pain. I just couldn't. I didn't have the energy. My body hurt. So I didn't get out of the car to purge the jack of the ear. And shit, fuck. I got like these fucking electric shocks, like piercing pains. Like it just, like shocks. Mike J. Wierski. Good day. Now I can't see the message. It says, good day, Sherry. TikTok. But it's starting to rain a little bit more now. Now that I roll down the windows and cool down a little bit. Hold on. Because I did the hairs in my nose, so now it's like a little, it feels weird. Ugh. My phone's only 53%. Oh my god. As lot better than what it was, but I still got peach fuzz in there because it doesn't really do a good job. I only paid like $5 for it, and it came with the battery, so I think. So, it started raining again, 4:28. Here we go then. I wanted to take out the battery, because if it stays in there, it'll drain the battery. Now, I went live because I had more to say. I have a lot more to say, but there was something in particular. Oh. It was stop the killing. Stop the murdering. Stop the hate. Stop the jealousy. Yes, I know there's people hurting. We're all trying to find the answer and the solution, but it's not a wham, bam, and thank you, ma'am kind of solution. And the reason being is we have to bring everybody up to par. You know, it's like we have to allow everybody else to get up to where we are, to the understanding, so we can move forward. Okay? Because God can't move forward with only a couple people or a handful of people or a few thousand, because then the other people are going to be like, well, what's going on? Why are you leaving us? What? Okay? You know what's going on? You got to think of it being as a test. Okay? We're all taking the test of life together. We're all in the same grade together, okay? Once we graduate high school and we're all in that field, and we're like, okay, well, what can we do with what we know? What can we do? What can we do as for work in the world so we can get employment and get an income so we can afford to live and save for our future and to start our families? Well, first of all, you're totally way off base. Okay? Because that's not how it's supposed to be. See, when you do it that way, you're operating off the devil's system. You gotta understand there's two kingdoms going on here. The devil and God's. And it's not even God. It's God's kingdom, but the devil's works. The devil's play. The devil's works, okay? We're not operating off of God's kingdom and God's rules. The 10 Commandments. I could attack this so many different ways, but they're not all going to result in the right answer. Because just like when you solve an equation, it's only a part of those problems. Then you got to solve the other, right? So you got to really, in order to get a quick result, a quick turnover, you got to get to the problem, and you got to say, okay, how do we fix this problem? But what problem are you choosing to attack? What problem are you choosing to fix or correct? Just like with my car. Okay, yes, it's infested on the inside. I need a new plastic part in my dashboard because it's broken. I need the AC vents for the centerpiece. I need an AC vent for the driver's side. I need a new factory radio. I need to find out why my hazard button won't stay in, and so the lights can stay on if I ever need them. I have to get a new factory radio because I pushed in the buttons and broke them from hitting the radio, because God, aka the devil, was attacking me through song to irritate me, to aggravate me, to frustrate me. And so I couldn't listen to the radio for relaxing music to just be at ease, or to be at a mellow pace. No, he has to agitate me. And what's the word? Antagonize. Hold on. See, like that problem that came up. Clear mucus. Allergy. What did I just eat? I ate Cuban bread. What did I just eat? Strawberry ice. Another phone call coming in. I'll wait. Come on, Dad. We'll keep on interrupting. messing me up. Because I didn't say a full prayer today. Okay, I didn't pray for 10 minutes and say blah, 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 blah. Don't do this, God. Don't do this, God. Don't let your heathen Italian demons. So, I got interrupted again. Now that's gonna... Oh, now my nose hurts. I gotta put more medicine on. Oh, my fingers. Because the buggies are still in there. Like, still having a ball in my face. They must have got me when I was sleeping. After I took a shower. Because they didn't think I was going to go in and take a shower last night. There was a lot of people in the gym late last night. And then, when I woke up, when God woke me up, and told me it was safe to go in and take a shower, it wasn't that busy. But I couldn't do everything I needed to do that I wanted to do. I was going to treat my skin with the cream from head to toe. I'll do that tonight. See, now it's kind of stopped. I got to put it a little bit more because one thing is not enough. Even though this is a little bit thicker, I just spreaded it. But this one is a little bit thicker. It's not as watery. It's still watery, but not as watery. And you're not supposed to put it in your nose, but I have to. Otherwise, them bugs are fucking trying to get away from the cream, and they go up into that nose, and it's like I'm like digging and digging. I gotta be careful though. I don't want to go in too far. I could go like around the edges, a little bit, like around the inside of my nostrils. That feels better. Stop itching. Whew. Whew. What would you do if you were a little mite? You would have to try to run away from the cream, right? That's trying to paralyze you and kill you. You would try to run away, right? And get to a spot where you can breathe to get away from the ointment and the cream, right? Well, that's what they're doing. You got to put yourselves in their body, in their shoes, or paws, or legs, insect legs, or mite, or whatever they're called. Oh, much better. But see, if I use this cream too much, it could cause cancer. I don't think it says it on this. It says it on the box, and I threw away all the boxes. Or in the pamphlet, and I think I threw all that because I already read it. This has, as an active ingredient, each gram contains permethrin 50 milligrams, 5%. So this cream is only 5% of the chemical. The rest of the 60 gram, the 55 grams is, I don't know, is whatever the inactive ingredients are. The inactive ingredients, the butylated hydroxytoluene. I don't know how to pronounce that. Toluene, I don't know how to pronounce that last part. Hydroxytoluene, I don't know how to pronounce the last part. Hydroxy, Toluene, I don't know how to pronounce the last word. Carbomer, homopolymer, type B, fractionated coconut oil, glycerin, glycerol monosterate, isopropyl myristate, whatever that is, lanolin, alcohols, mineral oil, polyoxyethylene, cetyl ethers, purified water, see, that's why it's watery, and sodium hydroxide, formaldehyde, 1 milligram. 0.1% is added to as a preservative. So this has formaldehyde in it that they put in dead people, or people that are dead or not. Dosage: thoroughly massage permethrin cream 5% into the skin from the head to the toe, from head to the soles of the feet. One application is generally curative, generally, not in my case. Actually, it is, but then they reinfest me, so then I have to do it again. But doing so too much could cause cancer, because this could get into the skin, into the bloodstream, and cause cancer. Store at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. See USP controlled room temperature. Well, it's been it's been kept in an 80 degree, 90 degree, 100 degree car. So that may also have an effect on its, whatchamacallit. I forgot the word. You know what I'm talking about. You are smart, right? You know it all. So, because I want to put another Band-Aid on this since I'm not using bleach. I don't feel like getting the bleach ready, the water, and soaking my face. And I'll just put this on. It'll kill the buggy. It'll start to dry up. It won't hurt. But right now, I'm just dealing with the infection. But this will let me know if there's any more buggies in it. The rest of them are healing up. They're scabbing up and falling off. So, but then they're running back to my back and the back of my neck that I'm not covering. See? And then that's why on the back, on my upper back and middle back, I keep getting these little piercing feelings, like little shocks, and they hurt. And those are they're embedding into my skin. They're biting me. It's like a needle. It's like a poke of a needle. It's worse than that. Some of them are more piercing than that. Some of the shocks that I'm getting. But I can't order my struts until I get my check at the end of the month. Then I gotta buy the impact screwdriver or driver so I can undo the lug nuts and the bolts to my seats and all that, so I can put everything in. I gotta buy, maybe I either gotta buy another jack, or maybe I could use my son's if he's home, if he stays home long enough for me to be able to receive his help so I can get my car fixed. And then I couldn't go pick up my stuff because my skin was very bad. And I didn't want my son to see me in person like that. Even though I know he's seeing me on camera, I don't want him to see me in person like that. But my mommy and my daddy will pay the price very soon. In their last days. They're approaching now. Because they're getting old. And their time is running out. They're trying to stall and delay me from being blessed because they want to live a little bit longer, because they're still feeling young, but they're not working. My mom is still working, I think, at JCPenney and St. Pete's. But for my daddy, he's a gangster. He's looking at me now on camera behind the scenes while I'm in my car going through what I'm going through. He's with me, but he's not with me the way he needs to be. Because if I tell him I need something, he'll send some guy my way to give me what I need. I don't want some guy to give me what I need. Because it ain't a guy that I need to give me what I need. Because I'm not going to go through what I went through with Diego, with Mano, with Jose, this one, that one, Surfer, Ariel, this one, that one, that they kept putting in my life. I don't want them. I want to take care of myself, and I don't mean sexually. I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking I need a home. I need food. I need clothing. I need cleanliness. I need furniture. I don't need to be sleeping on the carpet that's flea infested from the previous tenants and the 20 years ago people. That I had to sleep on the floor with a sheet and a pillow. With a house full of cats and kittens. Because my cat got pregnant from when I had to stay with my child molester that lived downstairs from my mommy and Richie, and they let it get out and get pregnant. So when I got an apartment, I had a house full of kittens. And God was in the process of sending someone from the Peggy Adams or whatever in Connecticut to the store that I worked at to help me get my cat spayed. But you know what? Guess what? It got pregnant before I could do that. My nose is so irritated on the inside. Oh. And it's still got peach fuzz. But it's not getting any more of the hair. It's not trimming it low enough. And look at this. I just shaved yesterday. I got peach fuzz growing. I could see the little hairs. Look at that shit. And then the piece of hair I just had on my knuckle. I don't know. But what did I go live to say? Stop the fuckery. Stop the smoking, the drinking, the drugging, the sexing, the partying, the killing, the stealing, the destroying. That's not the answer. How many dicks do you want to suck? How many people do you want to steal from? You're going to have to constantly keep on stealing and stealing and stealing and sucking and sucking and fucking to get everything you need every time. That's not the way to life. Neither are the jobs out there. Okay? Now, there's not enough jobs to employ everybody that needs to be employed. Because if I go to Ross to get a job, how many people do they need to be hired for a season? Or for whatever, because they don't like to pay benefits. So now if I get hired by Ross Dress for Less or a Walmart, or let's say with Ross Dress for Less, they don't pay full time. Or if they do, you have to be in management. They only need one manager, right? To manage the store because they're too cheap to hire more, because then they won't make a profit for the owners that own that hire a manager to do their work for them, so they could go out and party and hardy and fucking suck and dick and lick and do everything and whatever and spend the money that we work hard for to get what we need to survive, only for them to go out and party and go on cruise ships and vacations and go here and go there and have a home that they don't even fucking live in, and a car or this or that, and they don't even live at home. And they're out gallivanting and running around and running the country. Like, what do they need to see in the country? You're going to see the same shit everywhere. The same kind of businesses. The same kind of fuckery. It's just a matter of questioning, well, how do you want to die? What business do you want to fuckery out of you, out of all of your money and your health? Because that's all the businesses are doing. The restaurants, they're just making your food and they're killing you. Slowly but surely, that's why you end up getting sick after you come back from vacation. Or on your cruise. Or on your flight to here and there and everywhere around the world. If you want to go see the world, go live there. Don't expect us to pay for your home, your car, that you don't even use. You go flying from here to there, everywhere, staying in hotels, Airbnbs, this and that, when I can't even work to pay for my rent. I can't even pay to live in my car. Because the money is not enough. I'm getting angry. Stop the killing. You're killing all the people that are trying to help bring this full circle so that we can all live a better life the way it was meant and supposed to be. I don't know if Charlie Kirk knew the full truth, but he was helping him and his people get there. And he was helping humanity to get there. But nobody wanted to hear him because, like the girl said in one of the clips that the newscast said, where I don't see free food, I don't see free hot dogs, where's the free hot, okay? They went there to get the free food. They didn't go there to hear him. They were there to get the free food. Okay? But the lesson that Charlie Kirk was bringing them, the message, was trying to get them to realize the works. They were trying to get the people, and he was focusing on the college level. Okay? That's what his job was. And someone didn't like it, and someone snuffed them out for whatever reason. I hope they catch him so we can find out why he felt the necessity, or that he felt the need to take out Charlie Kirk. Like, what was that going to do for the country? By taking out someone that was trying to fix the nation. That was sent to be a help, to help bring the nation together the way it was meant and supposed to be. And the shooter just blew it all to proportion and caused more division and more separation now. Because now he took out a voice of God that was trying to bring common sense back to the people. He may not have had all the answers. He may not have had the message completely right, but he had the majority of it right. He had the foundation. He just may not have suffered to understand the part of what it was like to not have a good family, or to be born of a poor family, someone that wasn't blessed by God, or someone that was left out because the system is not based on God's kingdom. So he might not have known the full, because God reveals everything, but we only get bits and pieces. Or we have the whole story, all the details, but to get them out to the people, it will take almost a lifetime. Because nobody has all day to listen to all the details of the many years that humanity has fucked up since the day one when God created Adam and Eve. So now, whoever just took out or was sent to take out Charlie Kirk, which was oh my God. God, why? That was not supposed to be. He was meant to be a part of the picture to help bring the kingdom to full circle, back to the way it was meant and supposed to. I can't do it all by myself. I'm not God. God is God. He's above and behind the scenes. I'm not God. I'm only a voice that has heeded his voice since I was little, since I was born. My mommy and daddy did not. They followed the flesh. Satan, the one that controls the flesh, because they don't have nothing up here. They're not awake, and they don't know what their heart is for. It's like a guy, how a guy thinks with his dick. Okay, my mommy was thinking with her pussy. Okay, like many of you. You're not thinking rationally. You're all delusional. You're all chasing a fantasy. How's the fantasy working out for you, people? How's all them days of being overworked? And many of you are overpaid. Many of you way, way, way overpaid. Many of you are way, way underpaid. But again, you're not really working. You're not working the jobs, the conducive jobs of God's kingdom. Okay? 99.99999% are working the devil's kingdom. So you're going to get the devil's result. And that is the smoking, drinking. Your reward for all that hard work and all that money you're making, taking from other people, all that smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, partying, fucking, sucking, dicking, and licking. Some of you are doing the right thing. Many of you are helping a lot of the organizations that are helping the ones that are suffering, because the people that are smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, partying, fucking, sucking, dicking, and licking, and trying to chase the dream, they want to be millionaires. They want to be a singer. They want to be an actor and actress. We all can't be singers and actresses and actors. Who would be there to grow the food, to plant the food and grow the food and harvest the food? But why do people not want those jobs? Why? Because they don't pay. Why don't they pay? Because nobody makes the money to be able to buy those types of foods. And the quality is not there. Why? Because there's not many farmers. There's not enough workers, and they're slacking. They're eating and being all filling themselves, but then the quality of food that they're sending out is killing the rest of us because it's all infested, diseased, on purpose, intentionally. It's a way of warfare to take over the country, to make it all one race. But many of you want to be rich and famous, and you're only being distracted by the money. While everybody else that's doing the hard work, the work that counts, they're getting pennies on the dollar. But yet, now they're overtaking the jobs that matter. And now we depend, the poor and the rich depend on that food. And who's working the food? Those coming over here from the third world country. They want to save themselves and their people. And they want to take your place in the acting and actressing and fuckery and the singing. So now they're going to attack you. They're going to take you for your money and cause you to pay more money for top quality food. But yet we pay a good amount for the food, but we get the shitty food. That makes us sick and poisons us and kills us off. So guess what? They're taking you for all your money. You're taking all of our money to go see you. And a lot of the people that are going to see you, they're going not because they like you. They're thinking they're going to get noticed and picked out and maybe be your little, what do they call them? Those, I forgot what they call them, girls. The girls that do the band members, groupies. Okay, they're thinking they're gonna get the life by being a groupie, and then they're gonna suck you dry, and they're gonna mess with your life and your marriage and your children, and then that's gonna divide and separate you. Do you see the cycle here? Because I know all of you are cheating on your wives. I know it, except for those that are together, that are touring together. Okay, they're probably the only ones staying true to one another. But this is how it works in the past. I've known this. Yeah, when I was little, my daddy had people asking me, what did I want to be? You know what I said? In the beginning, when I was a little girl, I wanted to find out, because when we used to go to the beach every now and then, I was curious. I wanted to know. I was being put in a body of water that I didn't know what was there, and then I was told that you can drown, you could get taken from the fast waters, and it could carry you into the tide and in the current and into under the bridge at Bearsley Park. And there was a lot of kids that used to drown there. And then they used to say that there was a lot of tires and cars out there of people that were murdered and whatever and left there to die or after they were killed. So I'm thinking in my mind, I want to be a what do you call it? What do they call I forgot what they called the person in the water that studies the marine life. A marine biologist. I had to think. That's what I wanted to be in the beginning. And I wanted to be that for a while, but then when I hit like 4th, 5th grade, then what did I say I wanted to be? I think it was, I wanted to go to Georgia to be a farmer for the peaches, because I missed the peaches and the good food from when my mom had that apartment on Charles Street in the Colonial House. Oops, you fell. Because you're on the charger is sitting on my knee. So I don't lose my battery charge. I gotta go to the bathroom. 457, 42%. Wasn't my phone 53%? It's not charging. It's plugged in, but my car is off. And I see the light on my charger, but my battery is going down. I'm not going inside the library, but I am, because I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to have diarrhea. I'm going to have to drink some more. Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, that hurts. Oh, it feels like a worm or something is moving in my stomach and moving down into in my lower intestines or whatever's in my front of my belly. I felt something like move down into the intestines, working its way out to the back. Ooh. Almost like when you have a baby in your stomach and it moves or it kicks. That's what it felt like. I don't have a baby in my stomach though. Now I gotta pass gas. See, it was an air bubble. See? That was the gas pain. Whew, that hurt. It still hurt a little bit. Whew, I got another one, yeah. Whew. My stomach is hard, so it's full with gas. Air bubbles. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. I didn't see which way he went out. Oh, my nose. These buggies are hurting my nose. And see, I got another one. Another little speck on my finger, see? Because the medicine killed that buggy that was in this one. So when I went like this, it pulled out the buggy. And the ones behind my ear. See, they got me when I was sleeping again today. After I took a shower, they got me again. Yep, here goes another one. It's like a little brownish, whitish, so you can't see it. It's very, very tiny. I'm glad I got to the library when I did, because that rush hour traffic is... There's some kind of truck with a ladder, like, to reach far up, and it, the word Serens, was it S? I don't know if it was Sereens or Serans. And if you read the word backwards, it read sneers. Sneers. Just not spelt the right way. I gotta blow my nose again. I got a boogie. Ah! And, you know, it stopped raining. The sunshine came out towards the west. The southwest. The southwest, I should say. Katy Perry, hello. Hello, Katy Perry, the one that got away. How do you do? Yes, I know. I remember the words you said. I know. I remember. I've known that. But thank you for the advice. I've known that. I've known that very, very strong. I know. But I don't want to be killed like Charlie Kirk or like the others because of the so-called strong. Okay? I don't want to be used for the truth and then to be killed by people that believe the lies. Because it's a conflict between the truth and lies. Because you got the devil saying, oh, they don't care about us, they just care about this people, this clique. But the truth is, God cares about us all. And eventually, God's kingdom is going to involve all. It's going to make it better for all of us. We'll be able to work and carry on as we are, but it will be different. Ah! Sorry about that. Hope you didn't get that hurt. Sorry. Okay, so anyway. I don't have anywhere to hold you up here because, well, yes I do. I could unplug you now because I can put you up on my steering wheel. I don't feel like going inside the library. So, and the medicine is, see, taking out another buggy. See, there was still a buggy in there. I told you, that's why it doesn't heal, because the buggies are still in there, still moving around, still eating my skin, still burrowing in my skin, and the sore will not go away until the buggies are dead. But then, when they're really bad and infected, I have to attack both of them. I have to attack the infection then I have to attack the buggy, then the infection, then the buggy. So I got to do it like one at a time, like day after day, or in the morning or night, whatever. And I'm itchy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't have the money for this. I don't have the money for this. I don't have the money for this. I gotta wash all my clothing again. I've got to organize my clothes because I don't know. I'm holding on to clothes that I wore at Walmart for work that they destroyed. The clothes that I bought. Ow. See, I got another piercing, like shock in the back of my neck, near my shoulder, my back shoulder, and my neck. Oh my god. Oh. I'm jumping all around here from this to that, this to that. I'm not giving you the whole story of something so that I could go on to the next, to the next. I'm jumping around because it's all connected. But I have to tell you the beginning. But when I start talking about this, sometimes it makes me go into something else because it's fresh. And that thought can't resurface. And I need to speak it while it's fresh, because I won't remember. Because like Brad Pitt said, when he does his films, his characters, he deletes them. He doesn't take them in with his life, because it would be like a computer. It would blow the processor. It just too much to register for one person. So you have to delete. You have to work it, process it, and then throw it out. You can't let it register, because it'll go boom, and the person will it'll be too much on that person. So they're just, it's just a job to them. I don't know if they know all the truth. I don't know if they see the actual, I don't know if God shows them the actual live video of me, and I'm pretty sure they do, and all of our characters. They watch, they're given a tape of us, and they have to act us out and reverse the roles. So if, like, all these sitcoms and all these movies is like all of my words, everything that I said, all the characters. But some of the characters, they role played as my sister, my mommy, Richie, her boyfriend, my brother, my Joe, my son's daddy, or my stalker, or my son. So even though they all have roles in the movies and in the sitcoms and whatever, the soap operas, whatever you watch, it's all the same storyline, or a part of the same storyline, because there's many scenarios, many for 50 years, and then 70 years almost of my mom's life. She'll be only 71. Oh God, that's it. She'll be 71 this year. God, how much longer is she going to be alive? Let me know, so I can't deal with this. And my daddy, he's 73, because they're 2 years apart. He was born in 52, she was born in 74. So he's either going on 52, he'll be 74, and my mom will either be 71 or 72. He was born in 52, March of 52. 52. I gotta do this, hold on. 52 to 2000 is 48. So he was 48 in 2000. Oof. Him and my mom were still young. See, I got their age mixed up with Richie's. Richie was 10 years older than my mommy and my daddy. So I'm thinking that my daddy was like Richie's age, and I shouldn't see. But if I didn't contact him, the shit would have happened anyway. But they wouldn't have known that I've known the whole time. I've known what was going on the whole time, and that's what made me angry, and that's what made me not reach out to my daddy when I was in foster home. But he didn't want me to anyway, because then that would ruin his game. That would ruin his gangsta game behind the scenes. Because if I were to seek him out, he wouldn't be able to be a gangster, because there's a fly on my steering wheel. I got a stomachache. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom soon. I'm gonna have diarrhea. Even though I had bread, the ice cream probably was poisoned. The Kit Kat, it was probably a different kind of poisoning because it didn't irritate my tongue. So they put a different kind of poisoning in, and it's affecting me with either diarrhea or maybe I have to go number 2. But shut up. 509 represents 1995. No, you don't got me, and I don't care. I'm not going to hook up or connect with you. It's not going to be like the same as Breaking Dawn 1. I need a home of my own first, so I could take care of myself and get myself taken care of and restored and reconciled with my son. Then I will be ready. Maybe not. But anyway, I'll be ready to do God's will for his kingdom, but not to be with a mate, because them days have long gone. I'd rather die and be an old maid, really, to tell you the truth, because I don't have what it takes to be with somebody right now. My nerves, oh, I just passed gas. That's what the pains were. Gas pains. From the dairy, because I didn't want ice cream, but I don't like going to 7-Eleven during the day to heat up food. Walking in there with 2 bowls of food, come on. And then having to heat up my tea, having to get ice for my water. So I wait till nighttime. After everybody goes home and goes to bed. But then I gotta deal with the nightlife. So I will have to do my own rear struts and my own ABS. No problem with me. I can do it. As long as I have the money to buy the tools and I have a safe place to do it at, and maybe my son to help watch out so that he can make sure that nobody tries to sabotage me in my works. You know, like a spotter, like a gymnast, has to have a spotter. I was in gymnastics for maybe 2 weeks. I like the uneven bars. I wasn't too great with the beam. I forgot what they call the beam. I didn't like the parallel bars. I think that was the 2 bars. Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about that. The beam. I forgot the balancing beam. I liked that, but I wasn't too kosher about that. I did like the uneven bars. Oh, I love that. Swinging around and then, oh, I love that. That was so awesome. I missed that. But I wasn't able to hold my weight. So it kind of made it hard because I was a little chunky. And I had to work out my core. I didn't have the inner strength to throw my body around and whatnot. So, I'm getting the pinches here now. It's the buggies traveling around because I put it on my neck and now they're running to the front. That's why it says you got to apply it from head to toe, because they'll travel. And that's why I keep getting the piercing feelings, because they're moving around to escape what I put on my head. Because now I even feel them crawling up in here in my scalp into my head. See? Hi, Jess. How you doing up there? Hopefully no more accidents up there. Hope it's been nice and safe up there. That was crazy that day. Thank God I wasn't involved. Oh, I'm still in West Palm Beach. But, and the only way I'll go back up that way is to travel to get the 1,000 miles for the extended warranty. But I don't know when I'll be able to afford the extended warranty, which I know I need to do quick, because I know I have issues with the major components, but I don't have the money. If I have to buy the stuff to work on my own car, I'm not going to have any extra money to pay for the warranty, which I might have to ask my son for a favor, and I'll pay him back in a month. Unless I get a job. Unless I'm able to get a job and do it myself. But then I would have to take a day to travel back and forth so I can make the 1,000 miles within the 30 days in case I need to get something fixed on my car. Because from West Palm Beach to Boynton Beach and Lake Worth and Lantana and Atlantis and maybe Boca or Deerfield and Coral Springs, that won't make me make 1,000 miles in a month. I'd have to travel a good 300-400 miles to be able to meet the quota. Then I got to make sure I have the money for the extended warranty and for the repairs. But I got to find out from a dealership or from the mechanic how the extended warranties work. Because I'm not going to pay for warranty I can't afford to use. I'm hanging in there, but it's not been easy. I'm trying to remain above water, treading water, and I'm trying to sustain and maintain myself as best as I can. Oh, my nose. I might have to go into the library to charge my phone. And they said that I paid money for the glasses so they don't get scratched. I don't know if you can see, but they're scratched on the uppers. They are scratched very good. Cracked, scratched, whatever. Yep. I paid $92 for these. And not even for the glasses, only for the lens and the protection. And didn't protect them because they're scratched. And it's time for me to go back and get another pair. But my face needs to be clear for my license picture because I'm not going to put makeup on. And I was hoping to get a good beach day, a couple hours in at the beach day to get my skin looking a little bit better. At least not as... my fucking nose. But anyway, in order for humanity to function properly and to not to be struggling, we need a different system other than money. Where the Bible speaks of in the beginning that you shall work and you shall have food. But the problem is, okay, the Bible was speaking of back then. Okay, we are not in the garden anymore. We have strayed very, very, very far from the Garden of Eden, where the fruits and vegetables were. That was to be our job. And we were supposed to help feed the animals and care and provide for the land and the animals and ourselves. But we sinned, and then we got into the pleasure, and then all the sins and all the result and outcome of that sin and of those sins. The marriages, the breakups, the killing, the destroying, the stealing, because as humanity advanced into sin, they made up ways to continue operating in their sin because they didn't know what was wrong. They didn't know. That's why the Bible says, my people die from lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge to know that they don't know what they're doing. They think they're living. They think this is the way we're supposed to be living. No. No. Just like back in the slavery days, the days of slavery. Okay? Yes, there was bad things going on then, just like there is now. Where children are being stolen from their families. The families are selling their children off to sex traffickers, or they're getting kidnapped, or raped and molested and used and abused and abandoned and kept in the cellars, basements, attics, sheds, wherever. And God knows all this. God sees all. And the people, they don't know that these things are going on. Or they do and they don't care, because as long as it's not them or their children, they don't care. But they don't realize how that is going to affect them, because they don't realize that they're operating and functioning off of a system of fuckery. And it will eventually affect either this generation or the following after that. Okay? And eventually it'll end up leading to war. To a war, just like it is in all the other countries. Because the system in which we're operating on, the money system, is based off of our sins and our sinful lives. And it's not resulting in life. Okay? Sin does not equal life. Okay? I don't know how far you made it into math. I didn't make it very far, except into intermediate algebra, advanced algebra, but I understand the concept of it and why we and how to use it in reference to life. So I got the basic understanding of it, but I get lost in the process of solving those very complicated and trying to find the answer for A and B, or what A and B, and all that stuff. That it gets. I followed it when I was in high school, in 9th grade, but then later on, I didn't do algebra in school, because the school system that I went into was back into doing the basic algebra, or the basic geometry and whatever else. But I'm getting a call again, so it's a number. Then the caller ID of my other call app, it came up something Thomas Airport, or Thomas something Airport. I gotta go in and charge my phone, because they're draining it. 33%. They want me to do this, they want me to do that, but they drain my phone. But they don't let me charge my phone. Now they want me to go in the library to charge my phone, so somebody can poison me and infest me with buggies as they walk by. And then there's a squirrel. But I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom too, so I gotta go. I gotta roll up my windows. It's sunny out now, nice and hot and sunny. The clouds are clearing. It's still partially cloudy, overcast rather, partially overcast. It's clear out west, and the clouds are towards the east and the south and the north. Because my stalker lives out west, or at least that's where his condo was, in Royal Palm Beach. And as long as I stay in his territory, I'm somewhat safe. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, but I'm not blessed. You may think I am, but I'm not. I don't have the money to get my teeth fixed. I don't have the money to go and have them cleaned because I can't even go and have them cleaned because I got licensed scabies. So I can't go and do anything with my teeth. I got to wash all my clothes again. I don't have the money to take out all the seats and redo them. I don't have the money to take out the carpet or the headliner. That would cost about $1,000 or more. If I make $1,000, I lose my Social Security. Then I can't survive off the $1,000 a month or $2,000 or $1,900 a month because I got car insurance, gym membership, cell phone, gas, food, hygiene, clothing, laundry, and then I'd have to redo all this. Then I would have to pay for a storage unit to put my stuff in. So that would be $100 a month, plus tax. It's no more $50 or $40 a month now, it's $100. And what I have isn't really worth salvageable, or salvaging, because it's damaged and disgusting. And I could save some of my clothing because it's, all I'd have to do is wash them 2 or 3 times. But there's only like one load of clothes that I would save. Maybe 2, because, or maybe 1 large load, because there's still a lot of stuff in there that I would like. But I haven't even worn some of the stuff that I bought because it has to be sewn, because I had bought it on clearance and it needs to be sewn together. But I have to measure it on my body, so I have to try it on and measure it. And I have to get that thimble for my thumb to push the needle through so I could sew it myself. But I might just pay a dressmaker or one of those shops to do it, because they have the machine that can do it. Hand sewing it isn't going to be as neat. It'll mess up the look of the dress or of the shirt. Like one of the shirts I have, I had a woman do it down in Coral Springs that would sew people's clothing, but she did an okay job, but it's not straight. She did a pretty good job, and it's right there in the neckline, so you can see where it kind of goes a little, it's not, oh my God. And it's a nice shirt that I haven't even worn yet. Because the sleeves are not long, they're like 3/4. Dad of 7 dies. Oh my God. Oh, I can't look at the thing. I don't know. Why are all of these things happening? If the world had it right, if all you know-it-alls had it right, then why is there so much turmoil, so much chaos, so much catastrophe, so much commotion, so much conspiracy, so much chaos, so much everything that's wrong, disorder, defect, deficiency, destruction, disaster? Why? Obviously, you don't have it together. Obviously, we're not working off the right system. Obviously, we don't have everything, all our ducks in a row, do we? Because if we did, all this shit wouldn't be happening. Now, is money the answer? Because if it was, there wouldn't be any problems. But obviously, money is not the answer because it's not helping everybody. There's still sickness, disease, infection. There's still unloyal. There's still many that are unloyal to one another, unfaithful. So money is not the answer, right? If I was to say so, money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of the problem. How many of you would agree with me on that? Okay? Because people use people for money. They use people to build themselves, because there's not enough jobs that pay enough for people to live as the dream. You know those books, them fairy tale fantasy books that all of y'all are writing and making? Well, yeah, everybody's chasing that dream, that fantasy and fairy tale that's taken them far away. And they're like, wait a minute, how do I get that fantasy and fairy tale of that kingdom in the sky, that castle? And then they get the castle and they're like, oh, this ain't what it was. I didn't want this. You got all this money, but then you got to pay all these people to keep you safe. Then you got to pay all these people to clean your home. Then you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your home, your children. Then you got to protect your partner, or you got to care for your partner that you ended up with and that used you to get the money and get that life. And then they take you for a run for your money. You got to think this through, people. Okay? Yes, many of you have talent, but now that talent is overlooking the common sense. It's like overtaking the common sense. You can't just run with your talent. You got to keep that common sense. But many do not, because they believe in that fantasy fairy tale. You don't know why, because your mom and dad were separated, or why your dad was never in the picture, or, your mom never tells you the full truth because she doesn't want to look like the bad person. Like my mom. My mom didn't want to look bad in front of her sons, her older sons, when they came back into her life or when they grew up. She wanted to put the blame on somebody else, on me. And she wanted to make it seem like her and her kid's father was perfect. No. Because he was not a worker. He was a user and an abuser. And he mooched off of my mommy's money and welfare money. And that's why my brother had a rough upbringing. And then that's why my sister, and my other two brothers were put in foster home and adoption. Because she chose him over her children. She thought she was doing the right thing because she was listening to the devil. She wasn't listening to God. She thought the devil was God. She thought she was being directed by God. She was, but it was really not for her best interest. It was for God's best interest. So she had to suffer because she started her life on the wrong foot. Back when she was 15, when she started to smoke cigarettes. And then from there on, she smoked marijuana, drank, hooked up with the bad crowd, the crowd that had broken families. And then she got pregnant. And then that was all these mistakes. So God said, okay, you want me to use you? Okay. But, of course, God isn't going to tell her that using her isn't going to get her what she wants either. Because she didn't do her homework, research, and study before she began her recipe for life, before she embarked on her life. She didn't equip and establish, ready, and prepare herself, like many of you. Okay? You can't just have a family without having a home, and a car, and food, and money, and being that we operate off of money and all these things. Because who has farms nowadays? We have to pay this man, this man, this man, this man, this man. So we're paying for the farmer to grow our food, to harvest, plant, and grow our food, and then the farmer to put it into the warehouse or into the bins, into the thing, to put it into the truck, from the truck to get to the store, and then by the time it gets to the store, to the refrigerator or pantry or shelf or whatever, it's bad. And because of the way we live our lives, we don't have time to prepare our food. Because by the time, the day we get it, it has to be used that day. We can't use it all in one day. We do our shopping for the week when the food doesn't last a day. Or you buy all this processed stuff that has all this chemicals in it to preserve it. So now you're ingesting all these chemicals to process the food to keep it somewhat preserved. And it's like the formaldehyde that they got to put in a body to prevent it from decaying. Do you follow me how we're living and how we're going about life? All these preservatives are put in our food to prevent it from decaying. What does that mean? What's it doing to our bodies when it gets put in our bodies? Okay? It's definitely not going to prevent our bodies from decaying, because it has to help keep the food from going bad, which I don't know how the chemicals work to do that. I haven't thought that. Oh, my nose, these bugs, oh my God. It's like, it feels all raw. Oh my God. This shit is not working. I put enough on where I shouldn't have to put no more. But only 5% of the chemical that works. It's not strong enough. Where the name brand has like a 10%, I think, rather than a 5%, I believe. The Quell is like, I think, I have to look it up and see how much percentage the Quell has in it. It's a stronger version of the permethrin. The Lindane, that's like a different kind of chemical. It's like they use different ways to try to get rid of the infestation. The Lindane is more like a gas, like a chemical, like an oil. But it has a very smelly, after it sits on your body for like 12, 13 hours, it lets off like a gas smell, like a stink smell. But that too doesn't work because it's watery. It's more watery than oily. See, there goes another one, see? A little black speck. It's starting to drizzle again. 535. 535, what is that? 535? That could be like 3 or 4 things. It represents 85, 1985, when my mother got beat the hell out of by Richie because he got jealous that my mom took my sister to see her father in jail. And he was getting scared that he was going to lose his free ride with my mommy. Oh, now it's really pouring. Roll up the window. Where's my key? Where's my key? Oh, I put it on my purse. The hook on my purse. I gotta roll up this window so the rain doesn't come in and ruin my master control again. My mileage is 107,424. I've driven 206.2 miles. Oh shit. It ain't this month. No. I think I reset that. When did I reset it? I think I reset it 2 weeks ago. I couldn't have driven 200 miles already. There's no way. Oh, maybe. Because I did drive to Boynton and back. So maybe. 82 degrees. I have to go in and charge my phone because it's going to be dead. 27%. Oh, God. Okay, it stopped itching right now. But, that hurt. Alright, it's starting to work now. That did it. It took 3, I think it was 3, or was it 4? I don't know how many times I put that on. But now it's itchy right in my, because they're trying to get away. And I don't want to get it in my eyes because it'll burn. And that's what's causing me to lose my eyesight with this and the shampoo. The light shampoo that always gets in my eyes, or the bleach. Now I can't get into the library because it's raining. After it rains, I'll go in and charge my phone for like a half hour. Oh, I might go on my other phone and use the Wi-Fi because that's charged like 68% or more. Oh, there was a buggy in there. A little buggy. I charged it a little bit more last night, so it might be a little bit more than 68%. That was a quick little drizzle. That was for like a minute or two, 2 minutes. 5:38. Now it's 88. 88. 5:38. 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 8. See, I got it in my eye a little bit. See? Gabby. You gotta be careful because this shit is no joke. Getting anything in your eyes is no joke because it'll affect your eyes. You gotta be careful. Believe me, that's why my eyesight is blurry. For 20 years of irritation from this stuff and the light shampoo. Oh, my nose. It's so sore. And it's still hurting on the inside, but not as much. Because they were trying to go, it hurts further up in here now. Not in here, but now it's like sensitive here. See? See? See the buggy? See? They died. See? I got like little sand, little specks. 2 of them. Because it takes a couple minutes for it to kill them, to paralyze them. And then it just rained for a couple seconds and stopped. And that blue, I don't know what car it is, blue Cougar, that is at the library, and it was also at the gym. So that's probably one of either the devil's or God's workers. Heathens, hellions, minions, demons, or trolls. Oh, and the guy came back, and I didn't see his car back. He came back, but he parked in a different spot, in his normal spot. Which was the third spot, diagonal from me. I didn't see when he came back. My back hurts. Oh my God. I can't afford to get a massager for my back. Them think I can't. And it's really just right up around my neck and shoulders. If I could get that, oh my God. But I can't afford to buy any of these massager thingies. John Smith, I ain't got time to keep on responding. My goal, my reason for being on here is not to communicate with other people. It's to get God's word out there, to try to bring forth God's kingdom, to restore life to the land and to the people. Because we're dying. Okay? The land is dying. The land is polluted. The land is the trees. Okay? I'm going to show you something. Because I don't know if it's kind of really overcast. It's going to rain again. I want to show you something to prove my point. Okay? I don't know what disease the tree has, but these trees, what I'm about to show you on this tree, I think it's this tree. I think it was on this one. I'm pretty sure. Okay, it comes from, because they use the canal water. Okay, the canal water is polluting because they don't treat it, they don't keep it clean. So the what do you call it? Like a pool, you have to level the pool water, the pH of the water for people to swim in the water, right? Well, just like in the canal water, just like in the ocean. What are we doing to keep the pH level balanced for the animals, mammals, and us? Nothing, right? Nothing. If anything, we're destroying it more and more to make it more unsafe for us, because we're throwing the garbage in it. We're throwing all the pollution in it. All the cruise ships are pouring out the poopy into the ocean. All the garbage, all the excess, because they can't carry all that garbage on the boat with them. From all you people, from the... Yeah, people don't think... I would never want to go on a cruise ship. Never. Never. It doesn't... That is not what I seek to do. I may want to take a trip, maybe, but not... It wouldn't be like every month. It wouldn't be every week. It wouldn't be somewhere every single week or every day or whatever. It would be maybe every 6 months. Okay? And maybe, if that. Okay? Because I would rather be in my own home. I will be thankful and grateful for my own forever home. Not in these gated communities where everybody smokes, drinks, drugs, sex, parties, fucks, sucks, dicks, and licks, and has meth in there, and has this, that. No, I don't want those. Okay? I would never want to go back and live in my Reflections community, which is now named Divisions. I would not want to live there because they got all the smokers, drinkers, druggers, sexers, partiers, fuckers, suckers, dickers, lickers. I don't want that. I want my own land. Okay, with my own nice little home, with my above ground pool. I don't need an in-ground pool. My round above in-ground pool, maybe oval. Okay, maybe the elongated one that's like kind of like so where you can swim a lap back and forth, you know. I like the round ones, but I like the ones where you can swim a lap back and forth. And then I like to have maybe a little float or something that I could just soak up the sun with. But I also have to worry about the wild animals. Okay? Because now they're going to come in because there's no food out there for them. Okay? Because they can't get to the farms. There goes my locks. They just opened up on their own. You heard that, right? You heard the locks. My key is in the ignition, and my locks just unlocked because they're unlocking them. Either by the car or he has the other key fob. Anyway, so anyway, where was I before I got interrupted from that? What was I saying? I forgot. Help me out here. Oh, the pollution. I gotta show you this. Okay, so this is proof that we're killing ourselves. We're not taking care of the land. The land is not gonna take care of us. God keeps it raining now because he's trying to say, hey, my people, you're destroying the land. The land is not going to work for you. There's too many people dying coming back up to me. What's going on down there? And he could see everything. He knows what's going on. Okay, not even from what's going on within each country, just from the wars itself, from all the lives being taken and going up and ascending into heaven. And he's like, what's going on down there? Why is all this happening? Okay, when if we were operating correctly, there wouldn't be no death, there wouldn't be no sickness, there wouldn't be no disease, no infection, there wouldn't be no hate, no jealousy. And that's where I wanted to get into about the slavery. Okay, where you all got jealous. Okay, and you know who I'm talking about. I won't mention a race or a nationality or whatever. You know who you are. Okay? Jealousy. That won't get you anywhere. Because the very thing that you're jealous of is the very thing that caused and created all this pain and suffering and experience of pain, suffering, and loss. And death. Okay? You got jealous of your slave masters or seeing everybody else smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, partying, fucking, sucking, dicking, and licking, and marrying life and money, thinking that was the answer because that's what you saw. But you didn't think and say, well, wait a minute. Okay, what are they doing? Okay, I'm suffering without enough food or money, or without food, okay, and money does not help you get, money did help you get food, but if you had a thinking and thought process, depending on how far or how deep you can think, depending on how how much of the spirit or how much of the flesh you are. If you're of the flesh, you're not going to think. Your flesh is going to think for you, and it's like an anchor, and it's going to weigh you down and drag you down into your death. Okay? That's why I don't like when the church uses the anchor. The anchor holds. The anchor, no. The anchor pulls you down. What is anchoring you down? It's your desires, your lust, your jealousy, your hate, your sins. That's all like an anchor weighing you down, bringing you down, keeping you down and grounded. Okay, there's a good grounding and there's a bad grounding, right? Like in a short, like, in a wiring short, whatever you call it, wiring harness I have in my door that shorted out twice. It's either there's a bad wire, what did I say? How did I say? I'm trying to get so much out there to you, and you ain't gonna grasp it all because you've got a peewee of a brain. Okay, you're more interested in the money and how do I get to the top of my kingdom? How do I get to my castle so quick? No, there is no castle in the sky. Forget that. Okay, there's your forever home. Okay, you don't need that big castle. What happens to all these castles in the sky or castles in the past? They end up abandoned. All these mansions. Why? Because they weren't all what they were choked up to be, right? Or should I say, they were choked up to be what they thought they were not meant to be? Or what they thought they were meant to be, but they weren't? Depending however which way you want to look at it, and whatever helps you perceive it in the right light, because you're not perceiving life in the right light. You're in the dark. And you think that that's going to bring you to the light. No. You think you think the money is going to save you from hell. No. It's only going to cause hell to get worse on earth. And what's going to happen? Do any of you know how to build your own homes? Do any of you know how to plumb? Do any of you know how to survive if the kingdom fell? How would you survive? Oh, you think your money's going to keep you surviving when there's nobody left to teach you or to do the work for you that you don't know how to do? No offense, guys, but is your singing going to save you when there's nobody else to pay for your music or your acting? Is that going to save you when nobody left to pay for your movies, to go see your movies or watch your TV shows? That's only saving you in the moment, okay? You weren't supposed to do that for a lifetime. That was supposed to be like a lesson that you were there for a short while. And then once you got your chunk of money, you were supposed to do the right thing with it. But no, you got greedy. You got that money. And you want to be that King Tut sitting on the top of the world. While everybody else around you suffers. Because everybody thinks that the way and truth in life is to be an actor, an actress, or a singer to get all that money. Because down here, there's not enough money for us to survive because we don't get paid like you do. Okay? Singing is not saving the world. Is singing saving the world? Look at all these people that are sick in the hospital dying. All these people that are giving birth and getting pregnant and giving birth to kids. They're not healthy. If the person, the woman and man, are not healthy, and if they're not eating right and drinking right, and they don't have a home, they don't have a car, they don't have what's needed and required to take care of their children, and they're not eating right for themselves, how are their children going to be healthy? So now they're being born deficient, defective, with disorders, all discombobulated, disjointed, their eyes, this, that, you know, come on. And the answer is, you're not eating right, you're not drinking right, you're smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, and partying because you think that's the answer. Hello, look at what's happening to the children being born to these people. But now you got the singers and actors and actresses living it up, getting all that money, and they're out smoking these cigars and these drinks and this smoking and drinking and drugging and sexing and partying because, oh, I can't handle the pressure of being famous. Oh my God, this, oh my God, that, oh my God, when do I get a break? I know, I've lived it, okay? I've lived the poor version of your life. Okay, I had to work 3 jobs, part-time hours, 16 to 20, 25 hours each. I had to work at 3 different locations. And I had to walk to each one. I had to go home, take a shower. I couldn't even eat because I had no food at home. Or in the later on, I got to buy gallons of ice cream. I'd eat a half a gallon of chocolate peanut butter ice cream, Turkey Hill. Back in the day when it came out, like it was the same as the, what's the name of it? The Bluebell. It was shaped in that kind of container, in that round container. That was Turkey Hill. And the peanut butter cup, the Turkey Hill that's in a regular half gallon, it's nasty. Because they're poisoning it. It's not made properly. They've added different chemicals to it. It's no longer peanut butter. It's just artificial shit put together. The peanut butter rolls, like the swirls of peanut butter, are very thin. They're not thick like they used to be. They're not real peanut butter. See, back in the day, that Turkey Hill ice cream that was in the Bluebell packaging, oh my God, it had swirls of thick peanut butter swirl. Oh my God, and it was real peanut butter. Real peanut butter. And the peanut butter ice cream was it was like a chocolate ice cream. It wasn't even peanut butter. It was chocolate ice cream. It could have been chocolatier. Like the version, like I think it was called Death by Chocolate, or it was the peanut butter, the dark chocolate peanut butter from Baskin Robbins. Okay, but the peanut butter in that version was more like a candy. It was more like a, I forgot the name of it. Like that hard candy that, I can't remember the name of it. I don't eat it since I was a kid, because it would hurt my teeth. It was like toffee. It was like that hard, crunchy candy. I don't know if it was toffee. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, that's what the peanut butter in the Death by Chocolate, or the peanut butter version of Baskin Robbins. I liked the chocolate ice cream, even though it was a little bit too dark. It was a little bit too dark chocolatey, and it tasted powdery, or chalky. And that's why I didn't like that either. I liked it where it was kind of a medium, like a regular chocolate ice cream, like a medium to dark chocolate, and then the peanut butter. Oh, that would have been awesome. But I used to add chocolate syrup, the Hershey syrup or the fudge. Then that was a good mix. But that was because I had diabetes. I had low sugar, the hypoglycemia, the low sugar. So I had to take in a lot of sugar, and that's why I eat ice cream or candy bars or Dunkin' Donuts when I started working there. I used to eat like 6 to 8 donuts, or maybe 4 donuts and a coffee roll. Then I'd have some chocolate chip cookies, which I wasn't supposed to eat because they only got a certain amount, but I would eat them and pay for them because they were just so good. They weren't Otis Spunkmeyer, but they were good. But, yes, okay, I'm not going in yet! I'm not ready! My nose is still itchy, yo. This medicine is, oh my God. And it still hurts. And I can't put them. I used to use a Q-tip and put it in there. The same with my ears. Oh shit, it just spilled out a whole bunch. I gotta put more on. It fucking itches. And it feels like glass, like slivers. Like, I'm feeling like, when you feel your sliver and you get that little pinch or that pain when you're messing with the sliver. And that's what it feels like in my nose from these buggies. And I can only get my pinkies up there. My other fingers are too big. My nostrils are small because I never did drugs. I don't sniff drugs. So I don't have big nostrils that's a sign that I know you did drugs. When you got this distorted nose and what do you call it? My mommy had it, my sister had it, and Lynn, he had it, something with a septum. I can't remember. He used to have to use the nasal thing to clear his passages because he did so many drugs. That feels a little better. Let's see if that works. Oh, that burns. That burns. Because I need to put, but I can't because it's still wet with the cream. So I can't put the ointment and the Band-Aid on because it won't stick. But before my phone dies, because it's less than 20%, I got to go in the library to charge my phone. And my other phone I turned on is dying. So I'm going to go in and do some coloring by numbers. Some Bible scripture. I'm going to show you one of the trees to show you the outcome or the result of the polluted canal water, because they use the canal water to water the grass and the trees. And it's infecting the trees. Because in Coral Springs, you should see the trees. All the palm trees have this fungus on the outside of it. It looks like a lime, like a buildup of lime and calcium. And that's going to kill the palm trees. I'm going to show you this. That's from the canal water. See, these are just starting because their sprinklers don't go all the way up on the tree. And it hasn't traveled. But it's starting to. It's not that bad here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. It's got like canker. It's like green spots. Like mold. You can even smell it. Okay? And that's making the tree sick. See? It's messing with the bark, eating away at the bark. You see? Because from the canal water, it's dirty. It's polluted. So it's polluting our trees. We're not paying attention to the signs. So now it's producing a toxic air, and we're killing ourselves. Pretty soon, we're not going to be able to breathe. With all these gases and fumes and smoke and marijuana and fires and chemicals and whatnot. This is not the way we were meant to be living. This is a result of following the devil's works, the devil's ways, not the right way, not by the Spirit. We're following the way of flesh. And it's all causing us to sink. And we're not able to swim because we have nothing to grab onto. So that's what all the trees look like in Coral Springs. But it's all the way up the tree. All the trees, no matter the palm tree or all the other trees. Because they're using it to water all the trees. And that's why the bushes are not growing right. That's why it's taking them long to grow. And then you got, I don't know what that is, if it's moss, I don't know if it's fungus, whatever it is, it's not good because it's eating away at the bark. Just like what's eating away on my skin. It's not supposed to be doing that. That shouldn't be happening. It should look nice and clean. But see how it's affecting it even up there in the rest of the tree? See, it's even affecting the whole tree from the roots. See? Because the water's going right into the grass, affecting that. And it's affecting the roots going all the way up into the middle of the tree. Look, see all the spots? See? See how it's breaking up and how it's falling apart and denting in? See? It's not too bad, but see? See? That's all sickness from the tree, from the water, from the pollution. But what do I know? I don't have a college degree. I don't need to because I see what I see and I know what I know. I don't need to sniff some Kool-Aid up my nose. I don't need to sniff some drugs up my nose. I don't need to stick a needle in my arm. And I'm not going to listen to all you people telling me there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with all of you. Because your worlds are falling apart too. So obviously, your ways are not working either. Because why? They're, what are they called? What is it called? You're operating off of the sinful lives, the sinful way of life, the flesh, the way of flesh. So, no offense, I love your songs, I love it because I don't want to say I love it. Because you're not supposed to love anything above God. But God, see, you don't even know what's going on. God is using all of you to bring forth his kingdom and to turn it around. But no one's getting it. So God has to go boom. He has to allow someone to shake it up again, to shake things up again. And innocent people have to suffer. Because you think he was the problem. No, he was a part of the answer. But nobody likes that somebody else is coming up with the answer, because why? They're jealous. They want to be a part of the answer. They want to be a part of the solution. They want the Father, the Almighty Father, to be, but yet they don't believe in the Father. They don't believe in God, because they're partaking in the way of the devil. They're partaking in the evil works. Be careful of hypocrisy. God does not like a hypocrite. God does not like a backstabber. God does not like an evildoer. Many of you are giving him lip service. You think you're going to get in there by good works, by the works you think you're doing. Just because you're making money and you're on the up and up doesn't mean you're going to get into the kingdom of heaven. He's going to say, well, what did you do for the lesser? What are you doing to help the other people? Oh, you got all this money. You can't take it with you, but yet all these other people are suffering because they have no money to buy food. And they're all becoming sickly. I love you guys, but I have to be the bearer of bad news and good news, because I'm the voice of God. Because why? Because I love my people. Because I can't take care of this world by myself. I'm only one person. I can only take care of one section by myself. Okay? And none of us are doing the right job, the right work. So I can't, because I'm sick. And now the trees and the grass and the bushes are sick. And the roads. And the cars. Because everybody thinks that they need a car to survive. Which in today's world we do. Because we have to go so far away to get our food and to survive. And we have families. We can't carry our food in a bag for ourselves. No, because we need to get double, triple, quadruple, and we can't carry that all on one back. So now we need a cart, and we live too far away from the stores. We can't travel that far, so we need a car to get us there quicker and faster. But the foods that we have are no good. They're spoiled. They're rotten. Okay, the definition and meaning that you think of spoiled and rotten. Like, spoiled, when you say, what's that saying you say about the rod and the spoil? Shut up. I'm getting another call. What time is it? 6:06. And the number is 561-256-3510. Okay, that represents 15 and 10. I'm not sure about that one. 15 and 10. My cousin was 10, or he was 11 going on 12. That was 1991. He was born in 79. So in 91, he was 11 going on 12. He was like 11 and a half. I was either 15 going on 16 or 16 going on 17. I can't remember. Because my birthday falls in the end of the year, and I can't figure out if I was 15 going on 16 or 16 going on 17. I have to think about it because my mind is focused on so many things. And the funny thing is, it happened when my aunt lived on Sunshine Drive or Sunshine Way off of Reservoir Avenue on the west side of Bridgeport. Whereas when I moved to Florida, when I left to Florida in 1999, me and my son's father Joe got an apartment in Coconut Creek on Sunshine Drive. And that represented my mistake when I humped my cousin in 91. I didn't do it intentionally or knowingly. my body went berserk, and the urges, and I did not know how to control it, other than knowing that it was an urge of having to do with into sexual intimacy, because of me being with my first boyfriend for almost 2 years, and we broke up. He separated with me, not for any bad reason of myself or him. It was, we were young, we didn't have jobs, we didn't have a stable place to live, and we weren't really soulmates. We were not. I only got with him for protection, but I had to act like a whore. I had to act like I was crazy in love with him. I had to, and then when my mom rejected me, I hooked up with him and acted like I wanted. I mean, yeah, I did have like a sexual connection to him, but I was still a virgin, because my child molester did not take my virginity, because he never inserted fully, because he was limp. He couldn't get it up. But he did all the same things as sexual acts, and he made us do things to him. Anyway, and he was limp. So, but anyway, where'd I leave off at? So anyway, the phone number that came in was meant for something. It was, what time was it? It was 6:06. And the phone number that came in had to do with 561 was the West Palm Beach number. Palm Beach County number. I forgot the 3 digits. It was like 521 or something like that. And then the last 4 numbers were 1510. And that represented me and my cousin, I'm assuming. But it also represents the 10-year period from 1994 to 2004, which was my stalker, my one-stop possible soulmate in 1994 with our first encounter. Then 2004 was when James Lynn, aka Lynn, came into my life because of my duddy, but he was in the disguise of he resembled my mom's boyfriend, Richie. Not with the beard, but he had the bald head and the physique, and it was a turnoff. But again, I was in a situation going through a custody battle, and I knew why he was sent in my path, and I knew by seeing him what it meant. I knew exactly what was going on. And when I was at the pool with my son, when I had my apartment at Reflections at Willow Pond, and I was at the pool with my son for the morning, afternoon, before I had to drop him off to have his father pick him up for his visitation. I wanted to spend some time with my son, because during the week he was in daycare. I had to look for a job, or I had to work at the turnpike, and those hours, and I was exhausted, and I was too exhausted to think of a different plan of action on where I could go to work, with my face being messed up because I had lice scabies, because they were trying to set me up to fail, so I would lose custody of my son. They had it all planned out, because I snitched on my duddy. So they set me up to fail and to fall and lose everything. Over and over again, over and over again. I had to keep on getting back up again, or I didn't get back up for like 15 years. From 2005 to 2020, that was 15 years. So for 15 years, I was down on my luck because of my family. Because they were haters and enemies, and they set me up to fail by punishing me, blaming me for their problems and their outcome and result that they didn't get. Or the unexpected outcome and result that they didn't expect to get. Because they thought that their ways was going to get them what they wanted, but they were in for a rude awakening, because God was like, you ain't going to get what you want when you didn't do it the right way. So God let them do what they wanted and how they wanted to do it. But the thing is, they didn't do it for the right reasons. They didn't do it correctly. So God knew that they weren't deserving of having children. So God took us into his hands, and we had to suffer without parents, without loving parents, without loving, caring, providing parents, right? So when it comes down to abortion, I don't agree with it. However, when God allows people to live by their own freedom and free will, and they go and have sex and get pregnant, and they're not in any way, shape, form, or fashion able to care for themselves or that child or children, I would prefer to have been aborted than to live the life that I've had to live for 50 years. Why? Do you know what an abortion is? Okay, let me explain it to you. Okay, an abortion, what do? They go in and they give you a pill or some kind of medicine to kill the baby, right? So it kind of dies, or it kind of puts it into a coma, and then they take it out and dismember it piece by piece if it doesn't come out in whole. Sometimes it comes out in whole, sometimes it doesn't. So what they do, they sell those body parts, or they use them for their artificial intelligence, and they make robots out of them, out of real living people. Okay, come on, you got to put two and two together. Come on, you got to know what they do. Okay, they're not just making these robots from artificial robots. Okay, they're actually probably flesh in there, and they're using them so that they're making all this artificial intelligence inside them, but out of flesh. That's why they can move like a human being. So, I would not want to relive my 50 years on this earth the way I had to live my 50 years. No. I wouldn't want to go through what I had to go through. I would not want to put my son through what he had to go through. Even though it wasn't that bad, but it could have been worse. Many other children have gone through worse. I wouldn't want to live like that, because that is not the way. Okay, let me explain to you. So, keep in mind what I said, what an abortion is, okay? An abortion is over within minutes, right? Okay, most of the time, except for my sister. My sister supposedly had twins. I don't think she had twins when she got pregnant by her cousin. Okay? I think what happened was they didn't remove all of the first fetus. And I think it caused her problems. Because when she was in Connecticut at her grandmother or uncle's funeral or her sister's funeral, it was one of those three. I can't remember. I think it was maybe her grandmother or I can't remember which one. I can't remember when all of them died. It was either her grandmother, her grandfather, her Uncle David, or her sister I don't want to mention, but her sister from another mom, from her father's side. But as for my sister having an abortion, I think they didn't remove the whole thing. So I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe she did have twins. So if she had twins, she was at the funeral and she curled up in pain, and she had to go see a doctor because she had just had an abortion before she flew over there. And I have to use this to explain the situation here and to be a part of God's message to bring forth. So, my 50 years of living this life has been hell. Okay? Imagine others that went through more hell, that were actually fully molested. Okay, fully raped by their mother or father, or from their mother's boyfriend, or father's girlfriend, or whatever it was, whatever case it was, okay? Or by a child caregiver, or whatever, or a child caretaker, or whatever, okay? Or a teacher, or whatever, or got kidnapped and got abused. Just imagine what people have to go through that are born into this world, in this cockeyed world. This system is so cockeyed. It's a system of fuckery. You don't understand. You people that are up there in the high paying, you have no clue. Some of you do, because some of you suffered. Some of you suffered exactly what I'm saying. And I feel so bad, okay? But that's a part of the devil's kingdom. That's why you suffered it. That's what I'm trying to get at. We're living by the way of devil's kingdom, okay? That is not the way. Yes, it's a good life because you got money and you can get anything you want if you're up there and you got all that money. But you have to keep that money going. You have to keep making that amount of money. And us poor people can't keep providing you with all that money for you to live that lifestyle. Okay? So now you've got to turn and flip your money somehow, or either become a part of the problems of society, and do something bad with your money to hurt other people, or to make money in ways that harm other people. This is not the way. We have to abort this lifestyle. We have to abort shit. We have to abort. We have to. And I'm not talking about abort children. And what I mean, I didn't finish my thinking on that. I'm not agreeing with abortion. But I would rather have been aborted in that little 5, 10, 15, 20-minute operation than to go through a 50-year long abortion. Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you understand what I'm saying when I'm describing? Okay? I felt my whole life, 50 years, okay, as if I've had people tugging at me. One pulling one arm, like a tug of war. Like you know how the mob and the mafia used to kill people? They would tie them to the cars or something and tear their bodies and limbs apart. Okay? That's what I feel like. For 50 years, I feel like I've been alive, but I haven't been in control of my life. I haven't been able to live my life, and I haven't been able to... You think that living is smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, partying, fucking, sucking, dicking, and licking. No, okay? That was not my way of life. That was my mummies, my duddies, my sisters, all of her family, all of those kinds of people. That was not my way. Yes, I did experiment. But I knew in my head, I knew that's not what I wanted. But I wanted to see if I was like everybody else was living. They had homes, they had apartments, they had cars, they had children, they had families. I'm like, okay, well, if that's what you have to do to be in the family and to be this, I'm like, so I kind of tried it. But I didn't like how the alcohol made me feel. And I'm like, wait a minute, my body needs food. I don't have the money to buy liquor when I promised my Aunt Margaret money to stay there. So instead of giving my aunt $20, and she wasn't my real aunt, she was like an aunt. She was more of an aunt and a mother to me than my own aunt and my own mother. Because my own aunt and mother were not equipped and established to take care of me. My aunt was jealous because she wanted a daughter. She had all sons. My mom wanted sons. She got all daughters, except by Richie. Richie gave her sons. But he was an asshole. So she had sons by an asshole, loser. Okay, now it's starting to not itch and hurt me anymore, so that's cool. So, okay, God. Again, distracted me. So, what was I saying? The abortions. Okay, no, I don't approve of anybody having an abortion. I don't approve of anybody having sex with somebody they're not married to, with someone that they don't have a job and an income and a career. Okay, and actually, I don't agree with today's lifestyle. I don't agree with how people are living today and how they think that getting a job in today's... Excuse me, I have so much air and gas. Oh, thank you. My head feels like it's going to explode. I was so full of gas and air, and my stomach feels a little bit lighter now. It's not as hard. It's still hard, but not as hard. My nose is itchy and it hurts. It feels like these boogies. I still feel like the little pinches. When I pinch it together, it feels like I'm being poked. It could be my nose hairs that are like tiny, like peach fuzz, but it happens even when I don't squeeze my nose. So it's not just the hairs. It's something in my nose it's the buggies that are like piercing my skin, poking my skin, that the cream has not killed yet. They haven't paralyzed. It takes hours to kill the buggies. That's why it says leave it on 8 to 10 hours or 10 to 12 hours. And the same with the lice shampoo. It says to leave it on 10 minutes but no longer. But you know what? After 10 minutes, I still feel itchy. That's because they reinfest me. But when I leave it on about 15 minutes, I feel better. It feels like it kills them longer. Like, it gives me time to get the conditioner to help get them off my hairs and my scalp. Well, I got to drink my tea kind of a little bit more than lukewarm, but I need to take my hair out, but it's too hot. I'm sweating because the sunshine came back out. It's not as hot, but it's still humid. Not as hot, though. 6:24. That was like 6:23, 6:24. That was the month and the day that I made me and my first boyfriend official in dating. Even though I think it was a little before that, but that's the date I made. And it's funny how it represents Romans 6:23. I can't remember, but that has something to do with the sins. Like me falling in, but it wasn't my fault. It was how my daddy and his clan made things happen. It's like the way they directed and produced my life. I had no control over it. Just like how you actors, you're hired to act out a certain scene the way the directors and producers want it, right? Same way with my life. I wasn't in control of my own life. They were. So I was like living my life, but not living my life. They were making things happen in my life. And I didn't want them to happen that way. I left my mommy because she was not providing and caring for me and my sister and my brother. And I knew that that wasn't the right thing. So I ended up calling my sister's grandmother saying, Gram, can you have Grandpa come pick us up? I go, my mommy is not home. She left. She said she wouldn't be home right away, but she's out chasing Richie at the bar. Because I knew what was going on. And it was a part of her letting go of her kids because she couldn't take care of us. Because she was with Richie. And Richie was sucking her dry. Not down there, but through her money and her kids. And she chose him over her kids. So she had to go to work to take care of him as her grown-up child instead of her children. That the welfare paid for her. But again, back then, the landlords were not renting to her being a single mom. But yet, they rented to her with a man that ended up destroying their property. So my mom got into debt with all these apartments and all the shit that he destroyed with the holes in the walls and the broken glass and the fires. He was a monster. He was an asshole. So her life went the way it did because she didn't know what the fuck was going on. She was being led by the directors and producers behind the scenes, being my daddy and his clan. The same thing with me and my sister. And we have to pay the costs and consequences of their fuckery with our lives. Because of those that are of the business, the money, men of business, the mob, okay, we had to suffer. So now, being men of business, everybody is suffering big time because of the money and the business not being the right kind of business. Or not so much not being the right kind of business, but because we need this, we need what the mob and the elite people are doing. We need that to happen to awaken the people to see what they're doing, but they're not. They're watching it as entertainment. And then they're singing and dancing to the music for pleasure, not knowing it's songs that are made up of people's horror nightmares, their lives of nightmares. So you're making these songs, singing like they're something great. No. Listen to the words. And then listen to and pay attention and observe to what's going on. And then connect the songs to the life. Because that's what's happening. You're not singing songs of greatness and joy, and basically the songs are telling you of what's to come, the end times. Okay? And how we're going to ascend into heaven. Okay? Not the heaven on earth, but the heaven above, which is to our death. So you don't understand the scripture. You don't understand God's kingdom. And the devil is fucking everybody up and confusing everybody. And everybody is operating off of confusion, or only half the story, or a tenth of the story, or a quarter of the story, or a half-assed version of the story. Nobody's operating off the full and complete details of the truth. Okay, you don't know why I'm in my situation. Everybody's trying to tell you it's my fault. I made the choices. I made the No, I didn't make the choices. I didn't make the decisions. They were made for me. But I'm the one that has to suffer for them. See, yous are acting them out and singing them out and getting paid. And you're making money to live. Okay? But you're not able to live your way because you gotta go out to concerts after concerts after concerts after concerts after concerts. And then after this kind of, you have to keep your audience. You have to keep sucking your audience in so you can get that money. Okay? And people think, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to pay to go to concerts. And see, this is a part of life. Oh, now I got to pay for a daycare, or I got to pay for someone to watch my kids, or I got to go to the concert and get fucked up and have my husband stay at home, or my boyfriend, and then he's at home. He wants to be out having fun. He doesn't want to be home, staying home watching the kids. He beats the kids up. He abuses the kids. Then he leaves and goes out, or goes out without you knowing it, or he ends up with another girl, and then... Are you piecing this all together, or are you not seeing what's going on, or you don't care until it happens to you? When you cheat on your husband or your wife, and then it breaks your husband, your marriage up, and then your child has to suffer, and then your child ends up all fucked up in a relationship based off of her hurting and her or him hurting, and then they don't end up in a good relationship, and then it continues. And then no one ends up ever finding out the truth because it ends up killing off clans. So if you think of cheating on your husband or wife, you know what's going to happen? You're fucking your life. You're fucking your wife or your husband's life. You're fucking your child's or children's lives, just to let you know. Even if you decide to break even and co-parent and get along and have a nice break, it's still going to fuck up your children. And it's going to eventually kill off the clan. So, your call. You go ahead and do your thing. Don't control your penis or don't control your vagina. And then you got these vaginas that are opening themselves up for other dicks to insert because they want to break up everybody else's happiness. Or they want someone they like because they fall into lust, and they want someone else because they like the person that they see, but yet they don't really know them. They just like what they see, the outside. They don't really know the inside. And if you're going to risk losing or leaving someone that you've known for 15 or 20 years for someone that you've only known not even a year or two or less, okay? Like my son's father. He came after me as soon as I started working there because that's how the devil set it up that way. Okay? To play it out as the Bible. Okay? Because his name was Joseph, and me, I was Sherry, and they played me off as like Mother Mary, and him as Saint Joseph, and then they played us out as Mother, Mary and Joseph, and then Jesus, and they broke it down and tried to, role play the Bible out in everybody else's life, okay, to see if they can figure out the whole truth, because Jesus was crucified and he wasn't able to tell the full and complete details of the truth because they didn't want to hear him. They wanted to say, who's your God? Why are you telling us we can't do this? Don't tell us we can't do this, how to do this or how to do that. Kind of like what my family did to me, because the system operates off of money and off of fuckery, so they fucked me out of my life. The devil raised them and made me fall, like in a poker game. Well, I raise you up. Oh yeah, you raised me, but yet, is it going to come out your way? So you think you raised me because you think you know it's going to come out your way, but it doesn't. So now, or maybe it does. So they win, and then I lose. Even though they're wrong and I'm right, because they did wrong. But the devil doesn't care who's wrong or right. God doesn't really care who's wrong or right. It depends on who calls upon him. So they may have called upon him, and I didn't, per se, because I didn't pray to him. But I tried to follow the right way. But then because my family got dibs, okay, my life got fucked up. So no matter, I tried to do the right thing, the devil fucked my life up and gave them the life. Okay, they reversed. They gave that, my mom and my sister, at first, actually, my bad. They gave my mommy and Richie my life, and then my sister. So not only did I suffer, but that I suffered, but I suffered while I got to watch my mommy and my sister have the life that I was supposed to have. And then my aunt, my cousins, they all got to live their lives smoking, drinking, drugging, sexing, partying, fucking, sucking, digging and licking. But they had a home. They had a mom and a dad to take care of them. They had food. They had a shower. They had clothes. But I didn't have any of that. I was homeless. You know what I ate? I lived off of this. Bags of M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, plain M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, or I lived off of these, or the Hershey snack miniatures, or the Kit Kats, or the Mounds, or the Hershey Kisses, or the Reese's peanut butter cups. Okay, that was what I lived off of for my ever since I was born. Because my family was so fucked up, they didn't have food, they didn't have money. Oh, but they had money for them cigarettes, and that whiskey, and that 7-Up and ginger ale, or that rum and coke, or that the beers that Richie drank, and his smokes, and the little bit of drugs he did. It's gonna rain again. The sun went in, the wind's picking up, the clouds are moving. It's gonna rain again, and my phone's gonna die. And I got my other phone on that's draining. Yep, they're draining that now to 54%. Fucking amen. Jesus, mother. Goodbye, I'm done. Goodbye, good riddance. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I won't be back on till later. Bye. If that, I might go to sleep and not be on till tomorrow. Goodbye, good riddance. But if I don't have what I need, and if my son is not home with me in a home of my own, or if I don't have a home of my own for him to come to live with me or see me, none of you can have your kids, your sons, your daughters, your wives, your husbands, your boyfriends, your girlfriends. Fuck off. Because I won't do a goddamn thing for God, and I'll let the devil's kingdom take over. And all will fall down. Toodles.